Hey beautiful people, I'm doing a live with Renata, who is a powerhouse of a realtor. We decided to move it over to my live real quick. So, hi, thank you for joining. We're going to be talking about marketing today. There she is. But it's her show. She's the host, guys. All right. We're going to wait for her to join in. She just requested in. So we're going to be talking about marketing, and I'm actually going to let her tell you what we're talking about because she's the one who organized all this. Hi. Can you hear me? There you are.
Oh, it's your show. What are you talking about? This is like, no, but I wanted
Hi,
to.
Christy. Hi. Sorry.
We're talking about marketing, and that's why I wanted to get on with you to just really expand on. I've been doing the 5 days, a 5-day challenge for myself, marketing within my market, and really being intentional about reaching out to the network that I have, reaching out to new prospects. I'm in real estate, and my niche is professional athletes, and I've been doing it for 10 years. Boom. So I've been doing it for 10 years, and so that's my demographic, and it's just really being intentional about. So this week, I really saw a shift in just my mindset because I was intentional on, okay, I'm really going to market directly to my potential clients or to my clients and let people know what I'm doing. So yesterday, it being like Thursday and the 4th day, I said, I really want to talk about the collaboration part of it, and then also leveraging your network, like leveraging the network you have and leveraging the people, using that and also collaborating with others. And that's why I was so excited to talk to you, because being just such a brilliant mind in the marketing side of it, and and just really, you're in that space all day long. So I wanted to talk to you about and just share with others that if you are marketing within, like if you're being intentional, what do you think from your space on the real estate end or any other business? What do you find that, from your perspective, what are the efforts that one should be making in order to finish the year strong?
Well, definitely intentional, and I'm glad you brought up kind of the end of the year, because if you didn't start your holiday planning or your end of the year planning in August, you're a little late to the party. And guys, for those of you just joining in, I want to let you know that Renata was kind enough to invite me to talk to her. We're just doing this on my live, and we're talking about marketing. So first of all, you got to make a plan, but you cannot get stuck in planning. Strategy is everything. If you don't have a strategy and you don't have, you don't really know what your goals are going to be, and you don't have smart goals, you want to make sure that you create those. So smart goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable. You have to believe that you can go ahead and actually get to them, and they're relevant. And most importantly, they are timely. Okay, a lot of people, they make goals, but they don't go ahead and give themselves a due date, or they don't make them relevant to their business, right? So having those SMART goals as part of your strategy, if I had to pick anything, would be the number one.
Okay, I'm trying to light myself up here. It's so dark. So you think like being able to plan? Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry.
I saw out there, that's pretty. So planning, and it's interesting because I do find that even with social media, if once I really started realizing that I really wanted to put my business out on that platform, and I really wanted to be creative in that social media space, especially with Instagram and Facebook, I could really plan those out ahead of time, right? So I find that to be really inspiring to me. A realtor reached out to me the other day, and she was saying, I'm having a really hard time creating a theme, figuring out what my theme is. This is IG, right? So what my theme is, and you and I were talking about themes yesterday. So she was saying, I'm having a hard time creating a theme, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what my target message is. What would you say from your perspective? Like, if someone is trying to reinvent their page, and we're talking about the gram, if you're trying to reinvent their page, what would you say that person should do initially?
So Instagram is a little bit of a different animal, okay? It's always good to plan. Strategy, again, is number one. But strategy means that you understand your audience, you're understanding your message and how that's going to be, and then you have those specific goals, right? But Instagram, the reason why it was called that is that it was meant to capture things in the moment. It was until very recently, you couldn't even schedule your posts on Instagram, right? So the point wasn't to make it curated. It was meant to really make it something that's right away. And actually, it has, the whole planning has taken away from that Instagram, which is why they now have stories, right? That people are trying to plan, but at least you can't schedule to publish them. So when it comes to creating a look, I've definitely tried it before, because I will try anything just for my clients, right? To be able to say whether it works or not. When it comes to creating a look, I wouldn't focus so much on, quotes over here and I don't know, pink over here and black over here, right? Part of strategy is understanding what look you need to have in order to attract your audience, right? So if you are there to attract women, right, you are going to use more maybe pastel colors, you're going to use more pink, right? That's what's going to attract them. If you're attracting MLB players, you're probably going to have maybe something that's a little more sports themed. That's what you should focus on. And it doesn't mean that everything has to have a baseball, right, or a baseball background. It just means that you need to create something that will reflect what the audience wants to see, right? Because when you're creating a business page, you need to understand what that audience is going to want to see and how they want to feel when they see it. Don't focus on the whole theme thing, right? It works well for the profiles that are there to literally just gain followers, but you are here to really sell a service or product. So forget the theme, focus on the message and the feel that you want to have for your page to have.
Right. And that's interesting too, because I think that when, like, if you like looking at my feed, for example, oh, you're getting lots of hearts. Looking at the feed, for example, like my feed, for example, I do target athletes, but then if you look at my feed, it's not totally there. It used to be where I was just saying, thumbs up to a player who did an amazing job, or a player just, it's his birthday or got traded. But my only issue with that was that my audience couldn't expect, like they never knew what to expect from me on any given day. So I found that initially the first thing I did was I figured out, okay, what message do I want to put out, what days, right? So that really helped me plan ahead, meaning Monday, I know I'm going to talk about markets. I want to know I'm going to talk about the real estate market. And then, Wednesday, I know I'm going to talk about this. So it kind of gave me a little bit of a path in a sense, and it kind of helped me. So I went there before I went theme. Do you know what I mean? And that was really helpful. And it also allowed my audience to kind of, that's when I actually saw the most growth, to be honest with you, in my feed, was when I was like, they knew what to expect. So they knew certain hours I was going to post, stories were going to come, but there was a theme in a sense of, you could expect what's happening in the real estate market nationwide on Mondays. I'm going to do that. So just certain things like that. And then I got tired of it. So I'm like, okay, I really want to experiment with really curating a page and making it look very uniform.
Right.
I'm experimenting with that now.
Right. And if you, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you're getting tired of it, guess who else is getting tired of it?
Oh, I know.
No. So disruptive marketing and why it works so well is because it's not expected, right? So yes, things are good. We have our marketing Mondays, you know, and then I also used to have mention Mondays, because if I'm getting sick of doing it, guys, they're sick of hearing it, right? So it doesn't mean that I'm never going to do it again. You can recycle these ideas, but don't get stuck in them, because if you're having Wellness Wednesday, all of a sudden you're a personal trainer, not a realtor, right?
Right.
And we talked about that, right?
We talked about that.
So we want to be, yes, we want, and what you described is strategy, and that's perfect. And, you know, we want to make sure that we're attracting the right audience, but it doesn't mean that we want to be predictable. You know, maybe a 3-week run at most with using a specific thing. You know, Throwback Thursday will always be in, and you can always use that. But if you're doing, you know, realtor specific stuff, and especially hours, remember, if you post at specific times all the time, you're also messing up your analytics a little bit, right? So that means that, of course, the hours that you are posting consistently on Monday are going to show up as the hours where you are most engaged with, if you're doing it over 4 weeks, right? However, if you go ahead and actually test, which marketing is a whole lot of testing. So if you test, okay, on Monday, I'm going to post, this Monday, I'm going to post it in the morning. This Monday, I'm going to go ahead and post it in, you know, at 6 p.m. or whatever it is. You're going to figure out which one is actually being interacted with most. So be careful with that.
I like that. I like that. You're hot. Oh my goodness. That was really good. Yeah, because yeah, no, that's so interesting. Let me ask you this. If you're talking about, oh, we're starting to freeze up, which sucks. Yeah, okay, because I'm freezing up. If you're talking about all the platforms, so if you're looking at Facebook, if you're looking at Twitter, if you're looking at Instagram, what would you say? I mean, I think every platform has its own strengths and weaknesses. You know, I know some people are, oh, you can only, you know, Instagram is I think it just depends on your demographic also, because mine are really young, right? So the players are really young. They're not on Facebook. I would never see them there. And some of them are on Instagram, but rarely, but a lot of them are on, I'm not Instagram, sorry, Twitter, but a lot of them are on Instagram. So I think it just depends. What advice would you give from a marketing standpoint? When you're looking at a business, what do you advise them to be just as strong on every platform, or do you focus on one versus another?
You're naturally going to have a focus, right? Because we're human and we're just drawn to where we're getting the most attention, which is why so many people are drawn to Instagram, right? So it depends, though. You said it already. You know, it's your audience, and part of strategy is, and part of that foundation, strategy is really the foundation, is knowing your audience, right? So when you know your audience, you can then also look at which platform is having that audience. So for instance, if you're looking to reach the really young ones, you can go to Snapchat, and Snapchat now has ads, right? And then you have the millennials, which are not that young. So you have Instagram, and then you have LinkedIn if you're really looking at professionals. And LinkedIn actually is having fantastic engagement rates for videos. I'm personally surprised, right? So, you know, if you're looking at anybody that's professional, maybe connecting with other realtors professionally, that's where you want to put your videos and your articles and things like that, right? So every platform has its benefits, and they're quite different. The only thing that I would warn against the whole age bias for platforms is, remember that the 18-year-olds are eventually going to be 25. And it is unlikely that they're going to leave Snapchat just because they're 25. It's going to grow with them, right? So you almost want to go ahead and be predicting that trend of them staying there. It's not like it's my 25th birthday, I'm going to go on Instagram now, right? And Instagram is going to get older, because guess what? The parents are now coming to Instagram to watch their kids and so on. So we really, you know, you just want to think about it, not just now, but what's going to happen 5 years, just like you do real estate trends, right? You want to know what's going to happen later, because you're not buying the house for now, just now, you're buying it for 5 years later, right?
And you're in real estate as well, so you're a realtor as well. And
I'm not a
you
realtor. I'm an investor.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you had your real estate. Does your boyfriend has a real estate? Oh,
yeah.
you just invest.
We work together, but I'm not. I don't want to say I'm a realtor.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you're an investor. And that's interesting too, because for real estate, for those that are in real estate, and marketing is such a huge piece of what we do every single day. And I think those that are, well, you still do have those realtors that are super successful that I meet nationwide, and they nothing on social media, right? Because they have an older demographic, and they've also had clients throughout the year or throughout their career. But I find that if you don't start into the social space, especially if you have quite a bit of time ahead of you to work, you're going to stay behind, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to clarify, I think like I work with a few deals that my boyfriend does, who is a realtor. Man, do I have so much respect for you guys. It's something I just could not do. I mean, the way that you talk to people and deal with people and so on, I think that's amazing. I'll stick to marketing on that end. So, but
it's funny because I'll tell some of my clients, like when we're driving around, I'm like, call me Dr. Realtor. Right. Because I have to be a psychologist at the same time, you know, there's so many emotions run so high when it comes to real estate. It's the biggest investment anybody will ever make.
Right. Sorry, breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's the thing, but I'm hearing pieces and parts here. But just to answer your question, actually, could you repeat your question? Because I totally lost it now. Oh, sorry, I can't hear you, love. Technology, can't live with it, can't live without it, guys.
I think it was, can you hear now?
Oh, I have a hard time hearing.
I don't know if you can hear me. I can hear you. You can't hear me?
Awesome. Now you're back. Now I hear you.
I'm back. Okay, good.
Yes.
I don't know if it's me or you or whatever.
What were we talking?
Okay, well, tell me. Okay, so let's be mindful of the time. I know we both. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. Let me see. I had written a few things down that I wanted to kind of share. Let me ask you this, because this is something that that people kind of message me and ask sometimes, like, how much should you share on platforms? As far as like how often throughout, like when does the audience actually get sick of you, basically?
So that's a great question, and it changed quite recently when we're talking about specifically Instagram. But I want to address the sick of you part first, right? So keep in mind that it takes 7 different touch points for even your closest friends to know what you're doing. So a lot of people out there that are, like, oh, I don't want to bother my friends with this work. Your friends probably don't even know what you're doing. So don't, speak about your work. And speak about it on your personal profiles, on your business profiles, because at the end of the day, especially in the cases of a lot of realtors, you are your business, right? So if you're all of a sudden if you're not sharing anything on social media and you don't want to bother your friends, but all of a sudden then you see your best friend buying a home with another realtor, your feelings are going to get hurt, right?
It happens all the time.
It does. It happens to everybody. Right. And it's not until recently that I kind of took my own advice. But in terms of going ahead and how often you post, it's something that I've been testing, right, in terms of how often to post on Instagram. And I find that 1 to 2 times per day is actually better. Whereas before it used to be like 3 times a week and you're good, right? But now 1 to 2 times, and I'm talking specifically in the feed. In the stories, guys, post, but don't make every single one video, because this is what we do. Sometimes I even go on a rant and I will actually put a picture before and say, hey guys, this is about to be like a 10-story span of video of me talking, but this is the topic. So if they're interested, they can listen through. If they're not, they can go, and that's fine, right? So one thing that I would say, it's not just about how much you post, but about the quality of your posts. If you're asking questions every day of, what do you guys think about this? Or what do you think about that? It becomes spammy, right? So we want to make sure that we stay with giving information, giving little tidbits of our lives. And also, that's more towards the feed. In stories, ask questions, ask yes or no, or use those polls, or do the question answering feature, which I absolutely love. Make sure that in stories, yeah, I do that a lot. So make sure that in stories, you're also hashtagging all the time. You're putting your location all the time. Make sure it's specific to where you are and your location and your topic and things like that. But it's a great way for people who are interested in your topic or are local to you to go ahead and find you. And that's really the point of connecting people who are interested in what you do.
That's really interesting. And then, well, since you mentioned about your location, let me ask you this from a personal kind of experience. I used to put my location all the time, and then I started getting creeps, right? How do you deal with that? How do you encourage it? Like, what do you do in your standpoint? Like, people started reaching out to me on text or on WhatsApp and leaving like really creepy stuff, and it freaked me out, especially because I have children. And to me, I was like, oh, I don't want people knowing where I am. So a lot of times, I stop that. So like randomly you'll see, which I know doesn't help me, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like, that scared me. And chances are these people are all the way on the other side of the world, but it still scared me.
Well, yeah, I mean, the good thing is that you have this nice security blanket of the internet, or at least a perceived one. Putting your location don't put your home address, but put your location in terms of, the feature that story has, right? Or feeds as well. But to have that location is to really gain kind of a local one. As far as like anybody being creepy, I don't even bother. If it's somebody that I don't even know, unless they replied to my story directly, delete. If it looks like
people actually reach out to you on your phone and like WhatsApp and.
Oh no, I don't. I have the text on there. I've had people go ahead and reach out, but nobody creepy. All the creepies go to the DMs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to block quite a few like on WhatsApp. It was weird. It freaked me out. Like, what is this?
Block. There are a lot of those people.
Yeah, I blocked them. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so that's good to know. And all right, so I think there's so much. I think it's so intensive. It's so intense when you're talking about being able to create a presence. Oh, one thing that I know for those that want to we're talking about Instagram now, for those who want to create their business off of Instagram. So let's say that's their focus, that's where they would like their main income to go. What would you say? Because I do see that you have some sponsored posts, a few, on your feed. So there's Suja, I think I saw was a sponsored post that you did, which is awesome because I love.
They're awesome.
Love them. So good. They're so good because I travel so much for work, and to find, like, even if it's a little town that doesn't have much vegan or juicing options, I can always find a place that carries like a Publix or something that carries. I don't know if they're at Publix, but I can always find them somewhere.
They are.
Which is really
Yeah.
What would you say what would be the advice to those people that are trying to be able to make some money off of it? How would you approach, do you get somebody like you to do it? Do you hire, is it easier to hire a company to then figure out how to pitch marketing pitch for these companies?
The best marketing pitch you can ever make for an influencer is the influencer themselves, right? So there are companies that help influencers connect with the right brands, and that's a great way to go as well. But when it comes to, if you're a micro influencer, so like you have 5,000 followers or so, then you can go ahead and reach out to brands that you really use. I don't promote, I don't care if they pay or give me free product or whatever. I've had a lot of them approach me, which is kind of why I got this idea, where I'm just like, I don't want to promote this to my audience because I don't even want to wear it or taste it or whatever, you know? So, you know, and Suya, I actually reached out to because I've been with them since like day one, you know, and I really wanted for my audience to know about them because I found out that a lot of them don't. You know, I used to post pictures of myself drinking and they're like, what is that? I've never heard of it. You know what I mean? So for me to go ahead and just bring that awareness to them, and we worked out a way that we can go ahead and collaborate. So the best pitch you can do is yourself.
Okay. And just figure out. Yes. And I've had that happen to me where although my tribe is not as big as yours yet.
Yes.
But reach out to me with some products that I'm like, I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that. Like, no, it happened. But recently I've been, a few really neat little companies reached out. So I was excited about that. And I'm going to start doing that as well. Initially just to see how it goes and just to engage with some brands that I like.
And yeah, right. It's definitely work because you're somewhat responsible to then go ahead and, you know, promote it in a fun, cool way. So like doing a photo shoot for Suja and things like that. Like, you know, it takes effort because that's why you want to connect with a brand that you really, really want to promote, because then that effort is a lot more doable. You know, it doesn't seem like so much because you just really want to go ahead and share that with your audience. So as long as you're a good connection, they will benefit and you will definitely benefit as well.
All right. So lastly, since I know this is on your feed and people on your feed know what you do and what you're about, but for those that don't know and don't know you, can you like finish up? I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about your podcast. I know you have an amazing podcast, and just what they can learn from, or why they should definitely start following you the minute they, finish here. But what is your feed about and what are you about? Like, we all know marketing, but I know there's so much more that you share.
Yeah, if I were to define my life, it would definitely be marketing. I've always had that type of brain. I would look at, even print ads in magazines, and I would look at billboards, and I would learn from them, and I would also find ways to, how would I improve it? How would I want to go ahead and do this, And so everywhere I look is marketing, I'm kind of like it's as if I have like a scan inside there. So anything that I do, including real estate, even with my kid and everything like that, it's just a marketing brain is the best way I can describe it. But what I really love doing is also helping entrepreneurs really become whole. And what I really mean by that is that we're not just business people. We're not just team no sleep, right? We're not just collecting checks. We're also, which we love doing, but that's not all we are, right? We're also parents. We're somebody's kids. We're sisters, brothers, best friends. And I've been in a place where I've put all that second and put the bankroll first. And I've almost lost my life doing that, because literally my physical life, because I wasn't paying attention even to my own body. Forget my friends or parents or anything else. So the podcast is really getting insights, real raw insights from entrepreneurs, including myself, on taking care of yourself, taking care of your relationships, and really being a whole entrepreneur. Because most podcasts really go ahead and talk about, how to get to the next level of business. And that's awesome. I love Andy Frisella, who does touch on a lot of personal stuff too. And I know HubSpot, they used to have their podcasts that I love listening to, and so on. But that's not all we are. right? So I'm really taking it to the whole level for that.
That's really neat. And what's the name of your podcast?
Called The Whole Entrepreneur. It really captures it there.
Perfect. That's perfect. And it's true. We tend to work ourselves to the ground and forget that there's other parts to
of us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to having you on my podcast as well, which is called The Niche, and I'm excited. And mine is a bit more about it's business oriented, but it also I interview some people because I've created a niche business in the sports and entertainment arena. Then it's kind of, you know, those that want to get out of the rat race and want to maybe do something different with their lives and create a niche that they're passionate about and go into something that's specific to them. Because there's so many just amazing people that one lady that I'm going to interview soon, and she was, I believe she was an attorney, I want to say, and then she just got so sick of that and decided to be a vegan coach, and created just this amazing tribe of just people through Facebook, and started just putting out beautiful recipes. And why did she decide that? She had a health journey that got her to that point. But I'm fascinated by that, by people that decide to just take a different path. So that's called Niche. And I love your podcast too, because it's awesome. And I listened to all the episodes that you put out. Yes. So thank you, girl. I had a good time. Next time we have to be like together having coffee.
On the Miami Beach, yeah. So guys,
yes.
Just so you know, thank you everybody for joining. Renata, you are in West Palm? Where? Oh, I know you're in Florida.
Oh, no, Boca Raton.
Okay, you're all over the place. We were actually work at the same time.
I'm all over. So I'm going to be in Orlando. Yeah, I'm all over. I don't even pin to it look because the players are everywhere. So
exactly, that's awesome. Yeah. So, guys, if you're just joining in, we're about to end, but Renata is the realtor that sells all the awesome, amazing homes to all the sports players out there. And thank you for interviewing me on here. It's just been such an awesome chat with you, and we're both going to be on each other's podcast, so there's more to come of this conversation. And definitely next time you're in town, we are going to do a live.
Yeah, we'll do a live for sure.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Have an awesome day, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.